This is the Giants Postcast, your instant game reaction for the San Francisco Giants, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yo, what's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Locked On Giants Postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. You may know me as the former producer for the Murph and Mac Morning Show on KMBR, or maybe from some of these other Locked On postcasts that we do. We also do the Locked On Warriors postcast and the Locked On 49ers postcast. But today, the Giants came back to take the lead in the sixth inning, but couldn't hang on for the win as the Philadelphia Phillies pulled out to the 6-4 victory. And Justin Verlander, who is still winless in a Giants uniform, came back out for that sixth inning when he probably shouldn't have. Kind of a big mistake here in this one by Bob Melvin. Cost the Giants as he gave up 2 runs to give the lead back to the Phillies, and they never really gave it back to the Giants. Situational at bats also not great for the G-men tonight as they went just 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position, stranded 5 base runners in the loss. Hayden Birdsong also got touched up a little bit in this one as well. We'll break it all down, but first I want to thank all of you for watching us on the Locked On Giants YouTube channel. Please, if you aren't already subscribed, hit that subscribe button right now. And if you're listening on the Locked On Giants podcast, appreciate you tuning in there. However you're getting the show, we appreciate you tuning in. And make sure to check out the Locked On Giants daily show for more in-depth coverage. My guy, Ben Kaspick, always doing a great job. And this one, it really was that sixth inning that was, really the big turning point in this one. So let's go ahead and just go right into it. Today's turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
And in that sixth inning, the Giants, in the top of the sixth, took the lead from the Phillies. It was 2-2 entering that sixth inning, and Jung-Hoo Lee gets his 9th double of the season, which is leading Major League Baseball currently. After the ball careens off that first base bag and kicks into right field, Matt Chapman then walks in a wild pitch, moves the runners into second and third with just 1 out. Then a big chopper to the shortstop from Wilmer Flores. The infield was in, but with Lee's speed, the only play that the Phillies had was at first. Great piece of base running by Jung-Hoo Lee to score on that one. Giants take a 3-2 lead, and it was a productive out. You would have liked to see them get more than just 1 run in that situation. They were not able to drive Chapman home in that inning. Maybe this one turns out differently if Chapman scored. But then Verlander comes back out for the sixth inning. And Verlander was already at 84 pitches after 5. So he wasn't super sharp in this one prior to the sixth inning either. Verlander, in his last start, he had that one stretch where he gave up those 5 base hits in a row, and they were all kind of seeing eye singles that weren't hit super hard. But today he was giving up some loud contact, and he also was not really striking guys out, didn't really have the location going. He had 3 walks and only 1 strikeout. So the signs were there. I did not understand why Verlander came back out for that sixth inning. Started out okay, got Harper to pop out, but then gives up back-to-back singles to Schwarber and Castellanos. By the way, Castellanos is just killing the Giants in this series right now. Guy has a hit pretty much every time he comes up to the plate, it seems like. But then things got really interesting after a pop fly to left field that really should have been caught. And Verlander getting 0 help from his defense here. It's not all entirely on him because Elliot Ramos absolutely should have made this play. He was shaded more towards center field in the pop-up. I'm not going to say it was down the line, but it was closer to the line for sure than closer to straightaway left field. It was a little shallow, but Ramos immediately breaks back on the ball, takes a weird route to get there, and can't make the play. He tries to make a slide and grab, can't get to it. Schwarber scores on an absolute gift from the Giants, and you should have had 2 outs right there. But instead, it's a 3-3 tie game because the run scores and you still only got 1 out. Up comes Kepler, who lines out to Adames, and the Giants have a chance to double up the runner at second, but can't do it. Fitz had a long way to run to get there and couldn't make the play. The ball got dropped in the process. There was a lot of traffic over there. The umpire was standing kind of right in the way as well. But nonetheless, Giants now sitting in a situation with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position as well. So you didn't need to be in this situation. You could have gotten out of that inning then and there with no damage done had Ramos made that play earlier. But then up comes Alec Baum, and he singles, and he has been so bad this year offensively. He's kind of getting off that slump early on in this Giants-Phillies series, and he singles and the go-ahead run scores. Verlander is then done for the day, gives up the lead 4-3 Phillies at that point. Then Randy Rodriguez comes in from the pen in another pressure-packed situation, but he gets out of it without allowing any more runs. So shout out Randy Rodriguez for being the Giants, just a racer in these situations. He has been so valuable to this bullpen. I mean, for my money, aside from Ryan Walker, he is the best arm out of that bullpen. He has been so good in these pressure situations. I'm interested. I know that the Giants really like using him in these types of situations where you got a lot of traffic on base, comes in the middle of innings a lot. He doesn't need to start an inning and have his own clean slate to start an inning and have success. He comes in, inherits runners, and does his job out there every time. But I am interested to see as they move further on if they're going to end up using them in later innings or if they're going to just keep using them in like the 6th or the 7th. But either way, I think it's a good problem to have with Randy Rodriguez because this is a guy that I think you can trust in virtually any situation out there. I think even on off days for Ryan Walker, you could slot him in as a closer for sure. I mean, he's definitely got the stuff for it. I mean, Randy Rodriguez has been awesome for the Giants, and so is the rest of the bullpen. And today, we saw the bullpen get touched up just a little bit, and that was in the bottom of the 7th. Birdsong came in after Randy Rodriguez got out of that 6th. Birdsong comes in the bottom of the 7th, gives up a leadoff triple, and then a Bryce Harper 2-run bomb to right field. And man, I did not think that ball was going out off of his bat. I thought that was going to be a fly out to right, but it just had just barely enough on it to go and sail on out of there. And that one kind of got to me. It was only 354 feet. He did hit it 106 miles an hour, but he had a launch angle of 45 degrees. That thing looked like it was going straight up into the atmosphere. But I mean, 354 feet, that should be a fly out most of the time. Not in this case. Bryce Harper gets a home run on that one. And I mean, I guess it would have been StatCast says it's a home run in 21 of 30 ballparks. Whatever, we'll give it to him. But so the Phillies at that point go up 6-3. And that was pretty much all the Giants had left. They did have a last stand there in that 8th inning. Got a run back after Ramos, Adames, and Lee back-to-back singles with nobody out. They utilized a hit and run in that situation as well with Adames breaking for second base and Lee slapping one on the ground to the right side of the infield through that big hole that Willie Adames created by trying to steal second base. So the aggressiveness on the base paths continue, and that is a good sign for the Giants. But now you had runners at the corners and nobody out because Adames was able to advance to third because he was running on that play with Lee. So he advances all the way to third base, but then 3 consecutive outs for the Giants. You strand that runner in third who got there with nobody out, and it just completely killed all the Giants' momentum. In this one, you had a Matt Chapman infield pop-up, which stung a lot, man, because Chapman was just starting to maybe seem like he was starting to put some stuff together. He picked up a hit last night, and he had a double earlier in this game, was not able to get it done in the pressure-packed, gotta have it, crunch time situation. Then up comes Wilmer, who strikes out. And then up comes Casey Schmidt, and he, after swinging at 2 terrible pitches that he had no business swinging at, connects with one, gave it a ride all the way to the wall in center field, but didn't quite have enough to get it out of Citizens Bank Park as Marsh made the catch on the warning track. And Casey Schmidt today had some really nice contact. That ball, he hit a 101.7 miles an hour. It would have been a home run in 7 of 30 ballparks. He gave it a ride of 393 feet, but didn't quite have enough to get it out of there. Schmidt also had 2 other at-bats where he ended up having exit velos over 100 miles an hour, had a line out at 105 miles an hour early on in this game, and also had a single at 110.2. So Casey Schmidt making a lot of loud contact today at the plate. I think that's a good sign. Hit the ball hard somewhere and good things will happen. I think Barry Bonds said that, you know what I mean? So, I mean, that's a pretty solid plan of attack. I just wish that Casey had a little bit more discernment on which pitches to swing hard on and which pitches to let go, because the 2 prior swings that he had in the at-bat, I mean, I don't know what the hell he was looking for, but just not really what you want to see up there in that situation. So the Giants can't get it done. Ultimately, it's just a mix of things for this loss tonight, man. Verlander going back out in the 6th, I thought was a mistake. I thought he looked pretty done. They should have just turned to Randy Rodriguez for that inning if that's the direction they were going to go, or maybe Hayden Birdsong in that spot right away rather than letting Verlander kind of linger on out there and give up those 2 other runs. I also thought that it was bad that the Giants only went 2 for 7 with runners in scoring position. You had multiple chances to get runners in, and you couldn't do it. Can't be perfect in these situational at-bats every single day, right? So with the loss, the Giants fall to 12-5. The Phillies moved to 10-7. Yet the Phillies are still ahead of the Giants in Major League Baseball's power rankings. That is absolutely not surprising for any Giants fan who pays attention to these sort of things, because East Coast bias is a real thing here in baseball. So the Giants, they're 12-5, 1-1 in this series now, but you still got 2 more out there in Philly and a chance to win this series. Still a couple more chances at this one before heading on over to Los Angeles to play the Angels, or should I say Anaheim, to play the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the dumbest name in all of sports. Locked On Giants rolls on. We still got to give out a player of the game, and we got to talk about what you'll be talking about. Both of those things coming up next on the Locked On Giants postcast. Today's show is sponsored by FanDuel. The NBA playoffs are almost here. We're at the play-in tournament, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you'll get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, from three-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways to bet your favorite player props. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. Don't miss out. Head to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. And today's show is also sponsored by PrizePicks. Basketball and hockey playoffs are heating up, and there's no better way to turn your sports knowledge into real rewards than with PrizePicks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And with PrizePicks, you simply pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and you're in. You can even combine players across sports, basketball, hockey, baseball, and more, for your chance to win 2,000 times your cash. And I'm going to give you guys the PrizePicks play that I got going right now. We already got hit 1 from the Giants game today, but what we got coming up for the Warriors tonight, it's a Taco Tuesday. Ja Morant, that point total is discounted, so we're going Ja Morant more than 23.5 points. We're going Steph Curry more than 28.5 points. Jimmy Butler more than 22.5 points. I expect there to be a lot of scoring in this game. And Draymond Green more than half a steal. Only 1 Green Goblin in there. So take it to the bank. Put it in on your PrizePicks app. I'm giving it to you for free right here on the Locked On Giants postcast. Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, run your game. Welcome back to the Locked On Giants postcast. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel, and today the Giants fall to the Phillies 6-4. They got that. I keep forgetting they got that last run in the 8th inning. It just seems so inconsequential to me because the rally just died out right after that. I mean, it's disappointing to have first and third, nobody out, and you can't get any more runs in. That is a big issue. But I think the bigger issue, honestly, was that Verlander was just left out there in that 6th inning, and I don't think that he should have been able to come back out. And I really do think that's what we'll be talking about after this game.
This is what you'll be talking about.
And it's not just me that thinks that. I'm looking at the chat. My guy, Mike Dixon, saying Verlander only good for 5 innings. Still don't trust Bob Melvin in these situations. We got another one saying horrible loss all on Melvin. No reason for Verlander to go out in the 6th, and no reason to pitch to Harper 3-0. Yeah, I mean, that not a great situation for either of those things. And I mean, it's just not super great right now. Edwards says Verlander sucks. I don't think that Verlander sucks. Dude's going to be a Hall of Famer, but 42 years old, he's definitely lost a step or two. He just couldn't locate well today. And maybe that had to do with some of the weird weather that happened in this one. I mean, it was like they got that weird rainstorm going early on in this one. And maybe that just kind of threw Verlander out of his rhythm. That rainstorm was not in the forecast. So very, very weird. It just came in like so abruptly. And I mean, it looked like it was raining hard. You saw all the fans in the stands run for shelter, and then it stopped just as soon as it started. I think it started and stopped in the same half inning. So very weird weather out there in Philadelphia. Maybe that contributed a little bit to it. But either way, that weather had all subsided by the 6th inning, and you really would hope that that Bob Melvin wasn't going to leave a guy like Verlander out there. And maybe Verlander talked to him in between innings and convinced him for another inning out there. You're probably going to listen to the future Hall of Famer when he tells you I'm good to go. But I think that Bob Melvin's got to have a little bit shorter of a leash for Justin Verlander going forward. He has shown that after 5 innings, he is not super great. So I don't know, man. I think that Verlander's leash has got to be a little bit shorter at this point. And uninspiring as a second starter behind Logan Webb. I really a little bit uninspiring. I'd rather see Robbie Ray get more starts than Verlander this year. I'd rather see Jordan Hicks probably get some more starts than Verlander, even though Hicks has been hit a little bit hard this year as well. But overall, Justin Verlander, he's not terrible. Like the win-loss results, I think are a little bit deceiving when you look at it. His walk rate right in the middle of the pack, his hard hit rate right in the middle of the pack, his barrel percentage right in the middle of the pack. So he's not really doing anything great. He does have a 32.6 whiff rate on the season, which is in the top 83rd percentile of Major League Baseball. So he's still got that swing and miss stuff. He's just had some bad situations. The defense has not helped him out. And so I don't know, man. I think that he still is going to bounce back and have some good moments for the Giants this season. It's just, he's not, you can't expect him to be what he's been in the past. Battled through injuries last year with the Astros, and obviously he's just not the same guy that he once was. So Verlander, that ERA climbs to 6.75, and I think he's got to ultimately have a little bit shorter of a leash than Bob Melvin's been giving him lately. Moving on, I think we still got to get in the player of the game tonight, so let's get right to it. Tonight's player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
And there's a lot of different people who aren't really candidates for tonight's player of the game because the Giants did not do a whole heck of a lot out there. But we're going to go ahead and give it to Jung-Hoo Lee because this guy, he had another couple of hits in this one after going 0 for 5 yesterday, was the only Giant to not reach base safely in yesterday's win. And he comes back out and responds. And I like to see that out of a guy who has an 0 for 5 night on the night prior, because it's showing you that Jung-Hoo Lee, he's not like going to be these big peaks and valleys. Like they have other guys on this team that are going to get so streaky this season. Willy Adames, Matt Chapman are two very, very, very streaky hitters. We know that when Chapman's locked in, he is locked in. And when Adames is locked in, he is absolutely locked in as well. But they can also go through some pretty big slumps. I mean, both of those guys barely batting over 200 right now and on the season. But Jung-Hoo Lee showing that he's going to be the model of consistency for this Giants batting order. And I really think that that's important. They need a stabilizing force in this lineup because there's a lot of streaky guys in this lineup, man. Ramos, Adames, Chapman, Flores, all these guys are super, super streaky. Fitzgerald as well. So you need at least one guy at the top of the order that's going to be a rock steady contributor. And that is exactly what Jung-Hoo Lee is. And he also made a couple solid plays in center field where he had to run a long way to get to a couple fly balls that were hit pretty well. And he's so sure, he's such a sure thing in center field. Like I expect this guy to be right there in the Gold Glove candidacy for the National League in center field. And honestly, if he keeps playing how he's playing, he's going to be right there for the batting title as well. He's hitting 333 on the season. The OPS still over 1,000. It's 1,051 right now. So Jung-Hoo Lee gets today's player of the game, still contributing even in this Giants loss. Giants get 8 hits and 4 runs tonight. And we also forgot to mention, this is the first time that they've committed an error in a road game this season. The Giants had been very, 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 very good in these moments, but just didn't have it today. And they should have won today, man, because it's 415 day and it's San Francisco's 175th birthday. So it would have been a great day for a Giants win, but they couldn't pull it out. It was also Jackie Robinson Day. We can't get out of here without mentioning that it was Jackie Robinson Day, the only day on this postcast where we will ever acknowledge and celebrate a Dodger. Of course, all of Major League Baseball celebrates the legacy of Jackie Robinson, much bigger than baseball, commemorating his first MLB game, breaking the color barrier on April 15th in 1947 when the Brooklyn Dodgers faced the Boston Braves at Ebbets Field. And everyone, of course, on Jackie Robinson Day wears number 42. And with the 42 patch on the side of the hat, you know, it's a little bit weird to see Dodger blue on a Giants hat, but we'll, for Jackie, it's okay. We'll accept it today and today only. Any other day of the year, get that ass out of here. But today, it's okay. Jackie Robinson Day is something for us all to celebrate, not just Dodgers fans. So shout out Jackie Robinson. Shout out diversity in baseball. I mean, could you imagine what baseball would look like right now if it didn't have all the diversity and become the global game that it is? And none of that would have been possible without what Jackie Robinson contributed. So Giants can't pull it out today. Would have been a fun day to win a baseball game, but you still got 2 more chances out there in Philadelphia at the bank before you move on to your next series against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, who I still hate from 2002, by the way. So that's all the time we got for you guys today here on the Locked On Giants postcast. We'll be coming to you live tomorrow after the 3rd game of this Giants-Phillies series. So hope you'll tune in for that. We also got a Locked On Warriors show coming up later tonight. So go ahead and hop on over to the Locked On Sports San Francisco YouTube channel. Check out our postcast after this monumentally huge Warriors game. If they don't win this, it's basically the end of their season, in my opinion, because then you got another play-in game. And then you face, if you even get out of the next play-in game, you were the 8th seed and you go play Oklahoma City. So that's basically a death sentence, in my opinion. So Warriors got to have this one. Big game tonight. Make sure you tune into the Locked On Warriors postcast and make sure you check out the Locked On Giants Daily Show for more in-depth coverage of your Giants. That's all the time we got for you today. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Eric Triple E Engel. We'll see you next time. Peace.